Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I greet you as always with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that are they're continuing to have issues with these high energy levels and so forth. And the last few days, I've been off visiting folks physically and talking with some old friends and meeting with them and listening to their issues, problems, and what's going on in their lives, kind of thing. And the thing that I have picked up most, and from watching other things and other people and so forth and having contact with other folks, I've noticed that the chaos of just life is keeping them from being spiritual beings. And one of the things that I have noticed most is that these folks don't really feel somehow that they really have the power, that they really don't have control of their own life somehow, that somehow there are these outside forces that are forcing them to do these things, and they just, they're not getting along. Um, Greetings, Big Little Mew. Greetings to you there. Um, so one of the things that I noticed that some of these folks literally needed a hug from me. I mean, I know that kind of sounds weird. Hello, Maverick. Greetings to you. Um, in trying to understand, folks are having so much energy issues, and people who aren't awake, they really don't have a clue as to what's going on. So I've been sort of like a traveling shaman, if you will. And some of these people I've known literally, some of these folks since they were born. Yeah, I'm that old. And and also administering to their grandchildren, which is really strange in a large scheme of things. But I talked with a 10-year-old young lady yesterday who's very intelligent and bright, and she is aware of things that her parents aren't. And I'm like, that's cool. And it's not that her parents aren't smart or haven't raised a good child and that they're stupid in any way, but their lives are ruled by everyday events. So, one of the things that, I'm lucky, I guess, that I'm retired. But even back when I was working and big schedule, a lot of problems and stuff, I realized back then that I could still control the situation up to a point. And how I related to whatever incident might come up, somebody arguing with me, or, somebody want to start a fight, or there's this chaos out there. And I realized that and I've talked about this before, and I will continue to talk about it because it's very important. People have a tendency to let their emotions get caught up in the chaos. And of all the things that I told my friends last night and the last couple of days, I said, you must stay out of the chaos. You got to keep an eye on it. But as soon as you let your feelings get involved in it, then you become entangled in the chaos. And then your own spiritual energy then gets sapped out of you so that you're less likely to be able to deal with whatever the chaos is because you've allowed your feelings to get involved. And when your feelings get involved, there's a great giant sucking sound in the universe. Those negative energies, which are still around us, by the way, they love to feed on that kind of energy from us. So I keep telling folks, but I told my friends yesterday and the day before, I said, listen, you guys got to keep an eye on that. But you really need to keep your emotions out. If you see something, about the president or about this or that or whatever it is, keep an eye on it. You can have an opinion, yes or no. But the thing is that people get so hot and bothered about something that doesn't really affect them directly. Okay, we should keep an eye on world conditions and so forth and this, that, and the other thing. But people are becoming involved to the point with their emotions to the point where they can't live their everyday lives because they're so confused and the chaos and, well, I don't know everything about Trump and this and blah blah, and what about Joe Biden, blah blah blah, and oh, and the thing with Jeffrey Epstein, yeah, blah 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 blah. So everybody's so confused, everybody's so caught up in the chaos, they've lost their own spiritual awareness. So I told my friends, and I will continue to tell them, listen, you need to stick with your spirit guide. Stick with your guardian angel. Don't go out there looking for answers in places that you may not understand. You need to reconnect, stay connected to your own spirit guide, your guardian angel, however you want to look at it, your higher self. Connect with your higher self and stay there. Just Spitfire. Hey, how are you? I do want to keep up with y'all. Maverick says children are connected via the third eye. It has not had time to calcify yet. It's even more than that, Maverick, but I agree with you. Bigelow, her husband wouldn't come out because of man flu. Last time I saw her in 1995, we connected, even though he withdrew. Not quite sure what that means, but I understand up to a point. Here's the thing about this connectivity. As I have been teaching and will try to continue to teach about shaman basics, the shaman basics are that we are spiritual beings. That's just number one. You must understand that we are spiritual beings. And because of that, we have free will to do whatever we want. But if you realize that you're a spiritual being and you can connect with your higher self and not a bunch of other chaos, excuse me, a little bit of coffee. You can stay connected to your higher self, and also you can keep your own core energy strong. Hello, John. Good to see you. And blessings to all of you. Thank you for hanging out. Now, I mean this in the best of all things. It's really easy for us to get sideswiped with, cell phones and texting and Facebook. And one of my friends, she says, yesterday, it was kind of funny. She goes, people are talking about you, right, Dave? And I was like, no. She goes, well, about your Facebook post. And I was like, well, what about them? She goes, well, you talk about some crazy shit. And I was like, well, yeah, I know I am, but I'm trying to bring awareness to people who are caught up in the chaos and can't see or think for themselves. So I'm trying to bring another point of view. And whether or not you believe me or agree with me, that's not the point. I would like for you to at least think, where is this crazy son bitch coming up with this stuff? Meaning me. And so, I've got classmates. I mean, I got family members who refuse to even, have conversation with me because I have gone off the deep end. When I talk about spirituality and, it isn't about religion, it's about spiritualism and all these other things. I've been called a heretic. There are people that are literally like, don't have anything to do with Dave because he has crossed a line somehow. We don't know what that line is yet, but he's crossed it, and we don't want to like his videos because that would mean that I show up as I agree with him or I liked his videos. So there are folks out there, and my friend was telling me, she says, man, there's a lot of discussion going on about you. And I was like, why? Well, because of some of the things you said. And I was like, but they don't post them on my Facebook. They don't post them in my on my page. She goes, no, but there are people talking about you. And I'm like, really? Yeah. Well, tell me some of the stuff. Well, they think you're weird and nuts, but there are some of us who are like, they've been listening to me for years talk about some of these things. And they're going, some of this stuff's coming true. I don't know what to think anymore. And I'm like, well, I've just been trying to open folks' eyes that there's other things in this universe you need to pay attention to. What you just see on television or black and white or blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of other things going on. So whatever I've been doing, I've been stirring up some stuff on the sidelines that I'm not even aware of. And it was interesting that my friend brought it up to me. Now, I love her and I've known her for, 20 odd years or so. And so I was really curious that the fact that there are people not necessarily talking behind my back, but on the sidelines. And so, which is good, because if I've created something in their brain that they have to talk about me on the sidelines, then I've done my job, because now it's stimulating whatever the conversation is. Well, he's freaking nuts. Well, yeah, but then something else comes out that I talked about, like about, I don't know, it's been almost a year ago when I did a Facebook post about them folks down in Guatemala needed to watch out for earthquakes. 6 hours later, the volcano blew up and and just covered the whole village there. And but anyway, so some of these people are like, I don't know, should I listen to this guy or not? Well, I keep telling folks, it's not about whether or not you believe me. It's whether or not I strike something in your brain that you might consider, I hadn't thought about that. Or maybe I should think about this. This is something just out of the norm. But with all this stuff about quantum computers, and I brought this up to my young friends, and I said, you know what? Y'all are connected with your cell phones. And I said, do you ever take your batteries out of your cell phone? And they looked at me and said, Uncle Dave, we can't. Because the new cell phones, you can't take the battery out. And I was like, what? I don't try to keep up with cell phone stuff. I mean, I gave up on that. And they were like, yeah, we can't turn our cell phones off. We can turn them off, but we can't take the battery out now. And so my one friend, she goes, she pointed at her sister and she goes, remember I told you I thought my phone was making buzzing noises when I had the thing off? And I went, oh, really? And the sister said, well, yeah, I thought my phone buzzed when I had it turned off. So then the discussion between my friends was like, yeah, my new cell phone buzzes when I turn it off too. While it's off, sitting beside, but it goes bzzz and makes a noise. What? So now, and I've been warning folks, take your battery out of your cell phone. Give yourself a chance to get away from these other energies in the universe. And now you can't take the battery out. Really? What? So now if you get a new cell phone with the battery installed, then that means even when you shut it off, they still have your number. They still have your IP address. They still have your frequency. And they can mess with you in your damn sleep by having your phone buzz. What? Just saying. So it's like, for me, if I got another cell phone, if the battery don't come out, I ain't getting it. Even if I just have to go back to an old burner phone. If I can't take the battery out, I ain't getting one. But I ain't getting a cell phone because I don't want into that trap. Now, talking about the energies. Now, I did an update about Earth wobbling stuff a week or so ago. And all these folks now are, oh my God, it's Planet X. Planet X is all of this. Well, but they're not considering is all of these energies, and I discussed this before, but a couple of months ago now, or 6 weeks-ish, there was a big energy wave that went by the planet Jupiter. They saw it, kind of filmed it, and everybody was like, holy crap, what was that? Well, it just recently hit us. And all of our energies and everything are being spiked. Now, today, for example, on the Earth, the earthquakes, there were major 4-point plus earthquakes in Greece and all over the planet today. And a couple of them very strong and very deep. I mean, there was a 4.0 in Montana today. What? Yeah, north of the caldera, Yellowstone. So there are earth changes going on, but everybody wants to revert back to Planet X. Now, way back in the beginning, I went with the Planet X because I feel that there are things out in our solar system and beyond that they won't tell us about. And many of us have watched, the satellites, Cora and LASCO and C23 and all them, the sun. And we can see all kinds of spaceships flying by, big giant orbs coming out of the sun. And we've been told by ET that the sun is a portal, and that there are a lot of beings that have been coming in and out of the portal of the sun. one of the reasons why it changed from yellow to blue is because there was an uptick of activity on the portal, and it has changed the basically the color and the energy on the sun, and it's affecting all of us. What a lot of people are not paying attention to, for example, and I live down here in South Georgia, so I've got south of me is Tallahassee, and north of me is Albany, Georgia. And I check with both of those local stations and so forth for the weather. In the last 3 months, especially since about March, April, the UV level, even on a cloudy day, is 9, 8 or 9. When the sun's shining and there aren't any clouds, the UV is 11. Ladies and gentlemen, it's supposed to be 2, not 9, not 7, not 6, not 5, 2. It's been 11 and 12. It hit 13 once one day on a cloudy day. And so the UV energy that's coming through is going through everything. It goes through our clothes, it goes into our skin. And the scientists, they have noted we are changing, but they're at a loss as to how. And if they knew, do you think they'd share that information with us? So now we've Mother Earth, hey, Breaking Dawn, howdy. Good to see you. And thanks for coming on and sharing. I'm going to read your comments in a minute, but I want to finish off on this little train of thought before I forget. The energy's coming in. We were getting solar winds that came in just a couple of days ago, and the solar energy was like 1.2 million miles an hour. Now that's some hellacious solar wind. Our magnetosphere has been collapsed to below the geocentric satellites several times in this last month or so, the last 6 weeks especially. And so our magnetosphere is going like this: magnetosphere. Now, to think that the entire planet's magnetosphere was crunched down and then expanded back out. Now, how do you think it makes you and me feel? Mother Earth has been feeling it. I mean, there's cracks, there's crevices, there are earthquakes all over the place. There was another earthquake along close to the New Madrid today in Arkansas. Arkansas is on one side of Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, they're on the other side, and Missouri's to the north. But there are earthquakes hitting both sides of the New Madrid, depending on who you are and what part of the country you're from. And I made a video a week or so ago, and I said, Memphis might need to watch out. Well, now we got this tropical storm that's dumping rain everywhere. We got 1.7 inches here at my place, but the rain quit yesterday. But over a couple of day period, we had 1.7 inches of rain. My local river came up about a foot because of that rain. We had some minor flash flooding, nothing outrageous. But the folks that are having a lot of rain coming down, a gallon of water weighs over 7 pounds. 1 gallon of water weighs over 7 pounds. So all of this extra water on top of the earth that's saturated, by the way, and it's on a fault line, I'm just saying this extra water is adding a lot of extra weight to the planet. And extra water in weird places is going to make the earth wobble kind of crazy. Now, the things that are going on with the planet, everybody says this Planet X and all this other kind of nonsense. And I say nonsense because for all these folks that have been saying, well, it's in Ophiuchus. Well, it's been in Ophiuchus for years. And I've looked, I got a telescope right there. I got a high-powered binoculars over there. And I've been looking, and I can't see it. They said, well, it's right beside the thing, and it's over there, and it's way back, and you need a telescope to look at it. Okay, I don't see what y'all are looking at. I'm just saying, if it's moving and if it's coming towards us, then after 7, 8, 9 years of being in the same location, they say, then why can't all of us see it? Why hasn't it appeared? Why isn't it brighter? Why isn't blah, blah, blah? But they still go back to the Planet X, that whatever is happening to our planet is all because of that. It's so much more than that. And do I believe there's a Planet X out there? Yes. Do I think it's having all these effects on our planet? The answer is a strict, absolute no. Because there's all these other energies that are, we can see, we've taken pictures of them with the satellites, we can see, check, we've got all these instruments that log these things. Let's talk about that. And that the fact that these magnetic energies are going like this on the planet when we don't know it. So the folks who normally don't pay attention to things like that, that's my job and you all's job to try to stay in abreast of what's going on the universe. Some of these people, they don't know that what they've done is they're taking more pills. So there are folks in their 20s that really haven't had anything to do with life per se. They're 22 years old and they're taking a handful of pills because they can't deal with whatever the energy. Well, I'm feeling antsy. Well, I'm feeling this. So they pop more pills, go back to the doctor to get more drugs and more drugs to take care of what's happening naturally. But because people are so tied into this, the more drugs they take, the less control they have of their own being. So I saw some folks yesterday that I haven't seen in 5 or 6 years. And they said, Dave, you look better now than you did back then. You look healthier. You seem your energy's better. And I'm like, yeah, I quit taking all them meds. And they knew how many meds I was taking. And they were like, well, we think maybe some of those meds were crisscrossing and causing you problems. I said, yes, they were. I agree. But in order for me to get myself back, I had to wean myself off of all those medical doctor drugs and go back to just aspirin, ibuprofen, and some Benadryl. And that's basically my painkiller. I mean, I do other natural things, but the point is they were like, well, why are you doing better? And I said, well, have you watched my videos? Have you listened to me? They kept going back and forth to the refrigerator for water. And they would drink water. Every single one of them had a plastic bottle full of water. And you've heard me talk about plastics and the fact that my arthritis is going away because they stopped using plastic bottles. I just quit using plastic as much as possible, especially when ingesting something. Like I don't put anything in a plastic thing and put it in the refrigerator. I don't use the microwave anymore because it just does nasty stuff, kills whatever may be good in the food. And we're just basically just eating a bunch of dead cells, basically, once we nuke it. So in talking to my friends, I was like, listen, buy a big thing of water. You can get them in glass, or used to. You can make these changes yourself and take back control. And so one of the things I was trying to tell them, then I found out they all have relatively new cell phones and they can't take the battery out. So I was like, well, you can't even escape your cell phone. You can put it in another room, which one of my friends told me last night. She goes, I don't sleep. My cell phone is not in my room with me when I go to bed at night. And I was like, that's one of the smartest things I've heard you say in a long time. Very good. That's a good thing. So even though you can't take the battery out to get away from it, you can at least put it in another room. Now, to some of these people, they're carrying around these cell phones with these really high capabilities. I've talked about this before, but folks they were, having it, the women were having it on their breast. They were literally holding it in their pants and holding their cell phone in their crotch area. And I looked at my friend and I said, do you know what that cell phone's doing to your crotch area right now? Well, what are you talking about, Uncle Dave? And I said, do you know what the frequencies are? You just had a baby and you're talking about having another one, but then you take your cell phone, which is a high frequency, high radio waves, and you're holding it next to your nether regions, which is your uterus and things that make babies. Do you know what these radio waves do to things? And I've talked about this before, but it bears bringing back up. I bought a couple of two-way walkie-talkies. They're about 20 miles if you're out in the desert or you got a straight line, and that's under like ideal conditions. There were 7 pages of warnings about just these two walkie talkies about what radio waves will do to the body. Now, when you buy a cell phone, are there any warnings in there about radio waves? About what radio waves can do to the body and what the changes? No. Mm-mm. Buy a set of walkie talkies and read the warnings and warnings. Don't put this in your pocket. Don't wear it on your breast pocket. Use the attached thing. Don't wear it more than a couple hours at a time. Put it down, get it away from your body. They warn, don't keep it on you. Don't wear something near your head. Don't keep it next to your brain because the radio waves affect your brain patterns. So now all the new cell phones, you can't take the battery out. And so now they're a higher level 5G, all this other kind of stuff, and they're more powerful than some of these walkie-talkies. But no warnings about what the radio waves are doing to you. Nothing. Nothing. And I ask people, go out and study yourself. Go look at for a pair of walkie-talkies. Pick one. And then go look for the instruction manual on them. And you can get most of these as PDF files that you can just go out and look at. Pick one, a decent set, fairly strong, and look at the warnings in, I got a pair of Midland walkie-talkies. So, and I was like, what? So I went online and did some more study. Now, this has been a couple of years ago. And I'm like, nobody's saying a word about it. The only thing I had cell phones at early ages. No, am I trying to say that the cell phones that are their only problems? No, but I absolutely believe. And when I spoke to them last night, they were like, oh, crap. Maybe I shouldn't keep it beside the bed. Thank you. Put your cell phone in the other room, you know? Just saying, especially if you're sleeping, don't hold it in your lap. You know, there are certain things that you can do to minimize what those things are. Oh, but awareness. Does anybody know about this? Do cell phone people tell this? How many? I know some people have two separate cell phones. And like, what? So nobody is paying attention to any of these radio frequencies. Forget about what the cabal may be doing and sending weird frequencies over your phone while you're sleeping. Just saying. But let's just stick with the radio frequencies. So people are being affected by these radio frequencies. They go back to the doctor for more meds and things, and they're not taking care of the essential problem. I froze. Am I still froze? Hey, Spitfire John, am I still froze? We picked up where we left off. I'm glad you talked your crazy talk. Thank you, just Spitfire. Didn't know I had Facebook. I'm just David Knoll on Facebook. Am I still froze? I'm back now. Okay. I'm good now. All right. Yeah, gotta say hi to Bob and offer coffee. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there's been some strange things. Now I have a Chromebook, and to earlier today, I was trying to get in touch with you, Deborah, actually, and my computer literally froze up and turned itself off. Now that's not supposed to happen with Chromebooks. Not supposed to, because it's a Linux kernel and all this other kind of stuff. But I had to reboot. Well, it rebooted itself, and I couldn't get the damn thing to turn back on. I'm like, what? Now, I don't go searching a lot of places. I read the headlines and news and things. I'm not on any kind of weird sites with weird cookies and stuff. I know about that kind of thing. But for my Chromebook, it shut off. It froze. Couldn't get it to turn back on until it was ready. And yeah, PA, okay. I'm not froze. Okay. Actually, I'm sweating like a horse down here in South Georgia. The humidity is horrible tonight. But anyway, it's that tropical storm and everything. But now let me discuss with you folks possible ways to stay out of this negative? The first thing is awareness. And whenever something starts affecting you from the sidelines, I'll say, kind of using a sports term there, but one of my friends told me in confidence. I don't want to use her name or anything like that, but during I gotta say this because it's important. During a sexual encounter with her partner, they both had a strange entity that came between them. Let me repeat that. During a very romantic interlude with her partner, they both had an evil entity literally come between them. Literally in between them. Now, she had a hard time discussing this. So I said, listen, you got to understand something. When we are in a high sexual partnership, whatever your partner is, there is sexual energy in that. And, the Luciferians and the bad guys, they use sex as a medium because they're, whatever it is, it gets our chi going, blah, blah, blah. And we're more susceptible to, well, good energies, but also negatives. So I told her, I said, listen, you all need to find out if there's something in your house or something, because there may be an entity that's attached to where they live. That's a backstory to that. But here's the thing. During sexual intercourse or high sexual tension like that, we reach, an orgasm, or we reach this pinnacle. Our energies change during this occurrence. And so that all kinds of things can enter us and get involved with us, use that energy as like a magnet to draw them in. And if your energy is not in a good place to begin with, then you're more susceptible to things coming in. So I know this, and very few people will talk about this, that, during a sexual encounter and the heightened sense of so forth, that they've actually had some kind of weird shit happen to them. I mean, how many people want to raise your hand on that? But many years ago, an ex-partner of mine, a fiance, a similar event happened to where during our sexual encounter, I literally saw her face change. And I was like, what the was that? Well, we didn't last long after that, but it was just a sexual thing between us anyway. There wasn't really any love between us. That's a whole nother story, etc. But the idea though that I have actually seen this phenomenon. So I was like, I know it was hard for her to describe, and she went into a little bit of detail, but which was okay. She needed to, which I'm not going to go into. But let's just understand that if you're susceptible, or if there are areas or places or entities around, they're looking for any way to get at us, even during sexual intercourse with a partner. Pay attention. So what do you do? Well, make sure, for example, that you've got your own spiritual entity together. Now, for me, I've discussed this before, and I'll continue with it, is that you just have to have confidence that you're protected. And I know some people say, what? If you fear at all, these dark entities can smell fear from 1,000 miles away or into other dimensions. They can smell it. I mean, it's like an aphrodisiac to the bad guys. So if you're not sure of your own spirit, then that means there's fear in there. So this fear of, well, maybe it's something that can come and get me. I don't worry about that anymore. They can come, they can knock on my door, they can try to interfere with me, but I have become so positive in my own self and with my spirit guide. And I continue to say prayers, and I say, accept and receive the healing, the knowledge, and the wisdom from the universe. With that, if you understand that you're connected to the quantum in your higher self, that also means that you have protection. But you got to believe it. So there are a lot of people out there who are like, well, I understand the concept. And 3 years ago, I can admit, I didn't believe 100.1%. I believed 98%, 96%, depended on the topic. I believed almost all of it, but because I hadn't experienced it, then therefore I was like a little hesitant to like throw in the towel for 100.1%. And then I had the Mother Mary visit, and she's like, you got to believe, son. What I thought I did. You're hedging. And I had to go in even deeper within my own self. And I realized, oh, holy crap, there was a little part of me that was still hedging the bet, that I didn't quite believe I was either saved, protected, was true to my own spirit guide, if I was connected. I mean, a lot of things. I was like, well, I think I am. And no. You can't think you are, because then that means that you don't believe it. You got to say, well, I'm sure that I'm connected to my spirit guide. And don't listen to over here. Don't listen to all this other nonsense. Stay connected to your own spirit guide. Now, a lot of people are having trouble with that. And I have discussed this, and I will continue to discuss it. And I say, go talk to a tree. Give your energy and allow your energy to have a conversation with a tree. Ask it, give it a hug, say, can I sit down and share your energy? You will be amazed. I discussed this with a 10-year-old yesterday, and she got it. I was like, what? I didn't need to go into any extra explanation. She goes, so I just pretend, and I be like, yeah. So there are 10-year-olds out there that are more spiritually advanced than their parents or grandparents. Now, in a way, I say that's a good thing. Is she a star child or whatever? I don't know. But she's got some good energy. She's smart as hell. And she's got a connection to the spirit side that her parents are kind of lacking. But in total respect to their parents have to deal with everyday life. They got jobs, they got cars breaking down, they got to pay rent, blah, 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 blah. So the parents don't have the time to be as connected as she is. She goes to school. She's a straight A plus student in all grades. I mean, this young girl is, and she's not arrogant. Not at all. She's a humble being. And I'm like, whoa. So, Uncle Dave spent some time with her last night, and I gave this 10-year-old a 45 minutes worth of talk about things. And in some respects, because I understood, I could see her eyes go, oh, and she was understanding things. Her parents and her grandfather was sitting there going, I kind of think I understand. And she was like, I get it, Grandpa. And so in 45 minutes of discussion and topics and things, it wasn't all real heavy, but I gave her like 3 or 4 years worth of training that it would take a grown-up, because she hasn't been corrupted by the system yet. And her parents are open-minded enough to not get her into that situation. I gave her mom a big hug, and I said, you've done a great job with your daughter. Keep it up. She goes, well, she kind of takes care of herself, but yeah, well, you're welcome. And I was like, no, because you don't put any pressure on her to believe any one particular thing. They don't stand over, well, you got to believe in Jesus. They don't go through all that crap. But they're very spiritual. They're very giving people. They're loving people. And that's what counts, right? So there is no, quote, religion involved in this, but the girl's very spiritual. She understands it. Wow. So in that, I have great hope, because there are children being born now. Now, I've known this young girl since the day she was born, because these friends of mine, I've known them for that long. And so this young lady's only 10 years old, but I've known them for 20 years. So I literally, knew her when she was first born. So I saw something special in this child way back in the day. There are special children out there. They're a lot more aware than we give them credit. But there are those of us who we don't know who we are. So how can we help the young people out? How can we help to guide them? We allow them to get caught up in the chaos because the parents come home from work and they share the chaos in the house. Well, this went wrong at work and this and that, blah, 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 this and that. We hate this, blah, damn. So they bring the chaos home. And it's a good thing that some of these kids ain't picking up on it. They're like, I don't, it's not that they're not paying attention. They don't want to become involved in it, which is what I was bringing up at the beginning of this. The way to stay out and to keep your spirit strong is to keep your emotions out of the chaos. I did a video about this way back. Hey, Cherry, how are you? I did a video on this way back when I stated, and I continue to state, when there's chaos out there, the chaos, there is a harmony in the chaos. So what you need to do is find the harmony in the chaos. It doesn't mean you have to become involved in it, but you can keep it. It's like listening to an orchestra. If you try, you can listen for the bassoon, or you can hear the cello in during, or the piano, or the flute, or the harp, or the drums, or the cymbals, or whatever. If you're listening to an orchestra, it sounds like chaos if each of the individual players played their part. But together, the chaos of an orchestra is the harmony. So in the world, in the universe, on our planet here, we're going through this orchestral thing. And if you just listen over here to the part of the bassoon, you don't know what the tune is. There's no melody in it. It just sounds like boom, 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 boom. Doesn't make any sense. But when you hear that part with the whole orchestra, it brings it all together. There is a harmony in the chaos. So what you need to do, it takes practice. But I learned that I was like, wow, I watched this. And the first thing I wanted to do now, like creepy Joe Biden, he pisses me off. This is an example. Back a year or so ago, man, I laid into Joe and I was like, Joe Biden needs a perp, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I just allowed myself, because of the pedo business in my past and other incidents in my life and watching these people get away with this mess. And boy, I got involved emotionally. And then one day my spirit tapped me on the shoulder and said, do you just see what you just did? We let you go there for a while. We let you run. We let your emotions. I got on, I typed, I did videos. I had to take one down because it was so bad. And I realized, oh, crap. I did exactly the opposite of what they told me to do. Don't get involved in the chaos. So I'm guilty of this too. It's not like I'm not susceptible to this stuff. I bring this to you because I went through it and I realized, oh, crap. Oh, crap. Why am I doing better? Because I removed my emotions out of the chaos. So in a way, my energy is not being used for the chaos. I've retracted my energy and retained it for myself. I still keep an eye on all the crap, and there's still stuff that pisses me off. But the thing is now I go, I'm pissed off. This really pisses me off. And then I go, okay, time's over. 2 minutes to be pissed off, and then cut it off. Anything more than 5 minutes of being pissed off at anything is way too long, because you're wasting your energy and you're giving your soul away. You're giving your energy to the wrong people out there, to the wrong entities in the universe. So how do we stop this? Become aware of it. I know if it's, well, I'm aware of it. Yeah, but are you still getting pissed off? I mean, well, that really pisses me off. And then you went on a time. Well, then see, you haven't really got it, because I still have the same issue. But the thing is now I realize it. And when I realize that my emotions are going towards whatever is going on the planet, I go, oh, wait, hang on, pull back, hang on. Let me keep this internal. In other words, this topic pisses me off. But do I need to share my pissed offness to the world? Or should I say, you know what? This is really creepy. Now let's see if we can figure out a positive way around this. Now, since the beginning of this year, I stopped with all the fear stuff. I will talk about the fear, but we need to work. If there's something that's an issue, then we need to find the solution. And sometimes the solution is not to jump in, keep ourselves at a distance. Now, if somebody needs help, help them. But does that mean you got to give them your car keys and say, "Well, here you go"? I had talked about this in another video, but it bears repeating, in that there are people who are looking for their higher self, but they're trying to channel these different energies. Oh, they're using crystals, they're invoking spirits, they're using chants and all kinds of stuff to try to get in touch with other spirits, when they won't spend the time to contact their own dadgum guardian angel and stay connected. There are little tricks that you can use. I've talked about and these are true stories about how I've gone out in the woods, and I mean, hey, turn off your computer, go for a walk. I've found deer antlers. I've found all kinds of things. I last night when I went to visit my friends, I ended up with two brand new feathers. Now, my spirit guide's name is Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I've had a lot of contact with owl beings and so forth. A lot of people think that owls are harbingers of evil. No, what they are, they're harbingers of what's to come. So if you have an owl messenger, which I have owls here and around, one of the interesting things that I found were two owl feathers right outside the truck where I got out last night. Now, I haven't been finding feathers for a while. It was just a spiritual thing. And now it seems that because I have become reattached to nature in a different way, nature is rewarding me with two feathers. Hawkeye Two Feathers. I mean, I got out of the truck and there was one of the feathers, walked around the other side of the van, and there was the other one. Very fresh, very brand new. How about that? Now, did Spirit tell me it was a good thing I got there last night? When I saw both of these feathers, I was like, boy, did I need to come here or what? My friends needed some spiritual encouragement. Listen, please don't give up. You haven't seen me in 5 years. They've seen my videos and stuff like that on Facebook, but they haven't seen me personally. When they saw me, my friend was like, dang, you look good. You were really in a wreck the last time we see you. I was using a cane. Now I still have back problems, but they were like, you had a cane and you couldn't walk, and like, yeah, okay. So what's different? My attitude. I refuse to give up. I refuse to give in, and I told my friend, he was like, well, I'm taking this pill and I'm taking that pill and I'm taking this pill. He just retired. And I'm like, listen, you just retired, but you're taking all these pills for your nerves. What do you have to be nervous about? Well, and sometimes I just feel so. And I was like, listen, my friend, I talk crazy, but listen, there are energies in the universe that you're not aware of, but I'm here to tell you, and deal with the energies instead of saying, oh my God, I got to take another pill. Oh, I got to take another Seroquel. I got to take another Valium. I got to take another blah, blah, blah. I got to take another pill because I don't understand what's happening to me naturally. So I showed them all and said, you see the pills I take? Ibuprofen and Benadryl. You know how many pills I used to take. I was on antipsychotics. I was on depressive drugs. I was on these and that and the other thing. I'm not anymore. And you say I look better? Think about it. I am the example. I had to do this myself for my own spiritual being, but I am also proof that you don't need all this crap if you get a hold of your own spirit. But you can't get a hold of your own spirit if you're on all these other drugs that are making your mind go wacky. I mean, I was on them. I know. I tried to get spiritually enlightened, but the drugs kept me from being able to hold my own energy together. So If you're taking a bunch of antipsychotics and stuff like that, wean yourself off. You want to receive the energy from the universe. You got to get rid of these chemicals in your brain. You must. If you think that, oh my God, my nerves are bothering me right now, why don't you just sit down and breathe for a couple of minutes and say, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to allow my higher self to just bring calm upon my body and over my spirit and let it wash over me and take this away. Oh, but no, I can't do that. Let me go take my pill. And then they're whacked out. Spirit, I don't know. And it turns them into zombies. Some of my friends have turned into zombies because of all these drugs. Now, I took them. So, but now they can see the difference. What? You mean you're not? Nope, I'm not on it. You mean you don't? Nope, I don't take that. You mean you? Yeah, and look, and you're the one that said I seem to be doing better. I didn't say it. You remarked, wow, you look much better than you did 5 years ago. You're getting around better. Your energy's different. Wow, I watched your video on Facebook where you've been kayaking. I was like, yeah, get your lazy, self up and go kayaking with me. Well, I don't know. And you're younger than me. Quit giving me this shit. I'm 2 years older than you. And get over it. Get your lazy ass up and go kayaking with me and get some of your own energy back. Well, excuse. That's all I heard was excuses. And I'm like, okay. But am I going to give up on my friends? No. But at the same time, I'm not going to beat them in the head like, you must come with me. But I'm going to be strong about it. And for every time I go visit them and they go, he's two and a half years older than me, but he's doing better than me. What's up with that? My thoughts are clear because I'm not on all these meds and so forth. So I'm just saying, if you're on medicines, they're messing with you. Don't care what it is. I mean, I'm not on blood pressure medicine. I know there are some people who take heart medicines and things like that. You can't come off of them because of your condition, your physical condition. But there are people who are taking all kinds of Seroquel and all these other kind of Prozac kind of blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then they take something to knock them out at night because the combination of the other drugs that bothers them through the day, they have to take a knockout pill at night. So they wake up groggy the next morning and the cycle continues. Break the cycle. Take one of your meds and cut it in half. That's what I started doing. I took, instead of taking a whole pill, I cut it in half. And then after a while, the amount of times that I took my pills, I cut them down. So instead of taking them 4 times a day, I took them 3 times. Then I dropped it 2 times. Then I dropped it once. And then I cut it out altogether. I weaned myself off. I haven't been to the doctor in 2 years. And when I go back, she's probably going to go, what the hell did you do? And I'm going, hey, I had to get off this stuff so I could become me again. So people who are having trouble with finding their own spiritual being, they're taking so much stuff. And dumping alcohol on it too. I gotta say, I was like, you take all that and then you drink a 6-pack of beer every night? What? Well, but it doesn't really affect. Yes, it does. It says on your medicines, don't drink alcohol. And then you wonder why you wake up and you have all these issues. People aren't paying attention. But then at the same point, well, I don't understand why I feel this way. I don't understand why all these things bother me. I don't understand why I'm jittery all the time. Quit taking them frickin' pills. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to trust yourself. Understand there are other things in the universe that are there. It's affecting every one of us. I felt jumpy the other day and I was like, whoa, don't know what it is, but man, there's something got me like jumping inside. And I realized I just need to sit down, breathe, because I ain't got no pills to take. Of course, now I could smoke my bowl. But to the point, though, I realized there was something that had me jittery. I realized it wasn't me per se, because there's nothing to make me jittery in my personal life, not that way anyway. And so I was like, so I had to take a step back, take a deep breath and go, must be outside energies, let it go. As I said before, it's like riding giant waves on an inner tube. Sometimes we just need to hang the F on because we're going up a high energy level. And because none of us know how to deal with this. I mean, even messages from ET are like, we're not sure what's going to happen, but y'all going to be affected with this. We are. So to find your own self, you got to start with self. If you're looking for external ways to fix you, you got to look first at yourself. Am I doing things that are creating myself problems? Well, not believing that I can be 100%, connected with my spirit guide. Well, I'm not sure. Well, so be sure. Ask your spirit guide. Look, I want to listen to you and you alone. I don't want any other information. Are we clear on that? And you'll get your message. Then you can ask, can you give me some kind of proof? Give me some little test. Like maybe it's like, well, you listen to yourself and you say, well, they want me to go online. I don't know why. They want me to look for something. There might be something online that subconsciously there's an answer or a confirmation to what you're getting spiritually. It happens to me all the time. And I usually get 3 confirmations on some of these things that I receive from the higher self. And with conversations with other people who've had similar types of things happen. So there are ways that you can check to make sure you're speaking with your spirit guide. I can't answer that for you. No one can. But we can discuss it like in chats and things. And when you're around somebody personally, like I was last night, I could tell that this 10-year-old was so much in tune to what the adults didn't have a clue about. But she wasn't on medications. She hadn't been brainwashed by the system. They didn't put her in any kind of religion, so there wasn't any of that to like cloud her judgment. Can we get through this? Absolutely. The biggest thing is understand. I'll go back over them really quick. Like it's almost an hour and I want to read your comments. Sorry, I got off on this, but when I get on a roll, if I stop what I'm doing, I can't finish the thought. But anyway, so keep your emotions out of the chaos. That will help you so much. And it just takes practice. I mean, sometimes I'm in a particular mood. I see something, I react to it, I get pissed off. But the thing is that you need to realize, holy crap, I'm letting my emotions get away with me. Only you can bring them back. But the first step in it is realizing, oh, holy crap, I am giving my emotions over to this thing. I am giving myself over to the chaos. I'm not saying ignore it. Understand this, but you got to look at it from out here. You got to step back from the whole thing, and you got to look at the big picture. One little instance over here, everybody's complaining, jumping up and down. Oh my God, the world's coming to over here, blah, blah, blah. And there's so much more fear porn. Oh, the planet's going to blow up again. Well, myself and several other, not many people, but the Earth is expanding. All over the planet, this is happening. We've been warned about this for years. I've talked about it. Some other people have. It's the expanding Earth. It's where we're at in the universe. It's the energies from we're not getting some of these energies from the sun. We're getting them from other areas of the universe. Okay. There's also the idea that where our entire solar system is, the galaxy has what's called an ecliptic. In other words, there's a ball, and then when you look at it from the top, there's like a giant ring, but it's only so thick. We are coming out of the middle of this and up into we are ascending in the sense that we're coming out of the curve. We went down like this, and now we're coming back up. Kali Yuga, there's a lot of ancient stuff to say that we go through these 4,000 years, 26,000 years. It's a cycle. We can agree on that there is a cycle in the universe where we are in it. But the idea is that we are coming, the whole solar system is coming up out of the middle of the ecliptic of the galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. And in doing so, there are energies, vibrations, and, it's going to get nuts until we clear. It just is. Should we believe it or not? That's up to you. But the thing is that if you got to take a pill for it, and you're really not going to get it, because the pills are going to interfere with what you can do. Now, smoking a little weed, not a problem. But if you're doing it to excess to where you can't think straight, then I got to say, even that's not a good thing. Okay. You got to calm yourself, get yourself a bowl, put a little something in it, take 2 hits, and calm the F down. You want to take a bunch of pills, you want to do all these other things, that ain't going to do, it's going to hurt you. It's keeping your energy away from yourself. We are the answer to this. So stay out of the chaos with your emotions. Understand and you got to go 100.1%. It can't be 99%. It won't get you there. I tried it. It didn't work. You got to believe in yourself 100%. Now, do I make mistakes? Sure. But I listen to my higher self. I told this young lady last night, I said, listen, I said, if you got a problem that you need solved, this is an old Chinese proverb kind of thing, and it comes up in other cultures as well. But if you eat a problem before you go to bed at night, you're trying to work on yes or no, should I buy the house, should I buy a car, whatever the thing is, should I do this, should I get married, I don't care, whatever the thing is, if you eat the problem and it gives you indigestion, then the answer is no. What does that mean? It means follow your gut instinct. That's what it means. And I've seen people, I was one of them, I've seen people who they'll tell me, well, my gut says this, but I'm going to do this. And I go, are you nuts? You just asked your own self the question. And the answer came, well, I don't know. I kind of feel a little giddy about this. And they go ahead and do it anyway. I'm guilty in the past, so I know where they're coming from. But I look at them and I go, you just got the answer from your spirit guide. Your guardian angel just gave you indigestion. Well, I know, but they overthink it. Well, maybe it's not really. I'm going to go ahead, and they make up excuses to go ahead and do the thing that they shouldn't have done because their stomach told them not to. I'm guilty of this years ago. So I can speak on this as from personal experience. If you're having these kinds of things and you're having this kind of stuff, listen to your gut. That's attached still to the spirit. Now, there are a lot of those who believe that, when you're off in the astral plane, that we're attached by a silver cord, some think to the navel. Isn't that the gut? So our spiritual side, our higher side, our astral plane, we're connected by a silver thread out there when we're dancing around and playing around in the ethereal. And so, but we stay connected to ourselves. To where? The silver thread isn't to our brain, it's to our gut. So we pay attention to our own feelings. Wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't take a Valium. Maybe I should just try to calm down on my own. People are so, and I've got dear friends of mine, I love them to death, but I'm so nervous. I had to take 2 Valium. Why? Well, because I didn't think one was enough. So instead of just dealing with your own problem, you didn't take just 1 pill, you took 2 to erase the natural thing that's going on with you. Well, I felt nervous. So, but I felt nervous. So I took 2 Valium instead of 1. And I go, so how'd you feel? Well, I got crazy and then I went to sleep. So your problem is, don't deal with it. Don't try to learn from it. It's to knock it out with more pills that'll put you to sleep so you don't have to deal with it. Is that a solution? I can't answer y'all, and I'm not here for that. But if you look around, you probably know folks. I couldn't believe that almost everybody in this family is on some kind of psychotropic something or nerve agent or something, except for the 10-year-old. And I was like, what? Now, they all have issues. Their life kicks them and hits them. And one lady had been in the hospital for, emergency operation kind of thing. And her nerves were a little frazzled and trying to get, I've had, major medical operations. I've had 3 operations on my neck. I've had 3 operations on my knee back in high school and back in the late 60s, early 70s. I know what it's like to be under the knife and be in an operating room, and it's hard to get over. But when all of your friends and relatives are taking pills to disconnect them from feelings, how can they help you deal with your own feelings when their feelings are already masked? I was like, honey, I gave her a hug and I said, listen, you're strong enough to deal with this. Well, I know, but I know, but you got to be strong. Well, I don't know if I can do it. Yes, you can. Didn't you make it? Haven't you made it through all of this turmoil already? Well, yeah. Shouldn't that prove to you that you're already strong? Well, sorta. And I said, listen, you went through an operation, you went through a thing, you went through a blah blah, you had this, and you're still here. Yeah. Doesn't that mean that you're pretty damn strong? Hadn't thought of it that way. And my point to her was, honey, you've known me most of your life. You need to focus on this. If you've made it this far, that proves you are strong enough. Otherwise, you would have failed. You would have killed yourself. The depression, all these other things would have killed you. You would have died on the operating table. But you're still here. You made it through. So focus on the fact that you are strong enough to do this. You just don't know how yet. But you got to keep, well, I don't know. I just give up. I just can't handle it. Oh, okay. So everybody's giving up, taking more pills, and won't meditate. And they won't put their cell phone in the other room. So all of these things affect everybody. But the thing is, somebody's got to be the grown-up in the room sometimes. Some of us have to be the camp counselor and go, do you really think that's a good thing for you to be doing? I'm not saying, it's right or wrong. I want you to answer me. Do you think that's a really good thing what you're doing right there? Do you think obsessing over this is helping you? Well, no, it keeps me upset all the time. Then why are you obsessed about it? Well, because it bugs the crap out of me. Well, pull your emotions away from it. Well, I can't. Why not? Well, because it pisses me off. But that's your problem. It pisses you off and you stay pissed off about something you really cannot change. But it pisses you off because you can't change it, and then you stay wrapped up in the pissed off, and you're in cycle. You're obsessed with something you can't really fix, but you can fix it by taking your emotions out of it. Keep an eye on the pedo stuff. Keep an eye on the crazies. Keep an eye on the weirdness, but keep your emotions the hell out of it. Self-preservation. It is what it is. And a lot of people just say, oh, well, this can't really be. It is that simple. When you pull your emotions out of these things and keep it out of the chaos, you'll find an inner strength. I know I did. I was like, what? Oh, holy crap. Because I keep my energy. I don't give it out to the negative. I get to keep my good energy. I get to keep my frequency. When something pisses me off, 2 minutes, that's my time. Rant, rave, get pissed off, rah, 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 scream at the universe, and then end it. And then I apologize for losing my temper. But it's okay. It's all right for us for things to piss us off. But should we be obsessed about them? The answer is no. Find a solution. Well, can I fix the pedo problem? No, but you can talk to it about people. You can talk to young children and tell them to, stay away from things and be careful. There are other things we can do that are proactive and use our good energy to solve solutions versus ranting and raving, fear porn, pissed off, and telling people, well, this is bad, evil, 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 evil. And because we're talking about it that way, we're actually promoting the evil and allowing the negative to take over our opinions. We're allowing the negative of the chaos to affect our thought patterns and our spirit. Holy crap. It's true. Now, blessings to every single one of you that watches video. I'm gonna check the comments here in a second. Blah, blah, blah. My mouth is all twisted up. There's so many thoughts running in right now. But I'm gonna try to kind of give a little wrap up here. So stay out of the chaos, keep observing, Keep your feelings out of it. Quit taking your meds if you can. Find a way, another way to not have to take another pill, because you need yourself back. And I don't care. I tried. And the only way I could get back to being me was to get rid of those drugs. And I'm telling you, I know there are people who are on heart medications and some things like that, and you just can't do it. But I was telling my friends, look, you're 22 years old and you got a heart condition and you're 100 pounds overweight. Now, you want to know what you can do? Quit drinking out of them damn plastic bottles. Quit doing that. And you're drinking all these sodas. You're drinking, why don't you try to drink herbal tea? You've got well water at your house, which is good well water. Why don't you use that well water and make some herbal tea and drink that? Use use sugar instead of some kind of weird sweetener, but learn how to drink things as natural as possible. Cut down on your sugar intake. Lose 100 pounds, for God's sakes. You're 22 years old with a heart condition, and oh well, I don't know. I don't think exercise is the answer. And I'm like, I'm 67. You tell me I look good. What did I do different? I'm telling you, you want to change your life? You got to start with yourself. Oh, but all these things, you're allowing all these things to bother you. You got to make the sacrifices. You got to understand that, listen, you are the answer. You have the answer. Now, the answers are out in the universe, and me talking with you all and us sharing these things, there are answers in that as well. But the idea, though, that somebody said in a previous live stream something, we are spiritual beings. That's of shaman basics. We are spiritual. Let's start with that. Let's start with the fact that we can control our own lives. When I was in prison, even though I was under lock and key, I was still in charge of me and my life and what I did in the prison, who I associated with, whether or not I gambled or played cards or hung out with this group or that group. You have choices everywhere. Everywhere, even under lock and key, even if you're being bootstrapped by the Gestapo Nazi in a concentration camp, you still have a freedom, and it's up here, and it's your spirit. They'll only break you if you allow it. So people say, well, I don't know. The Kabbalah's ruling everything, and I don't know what to do, and I don't have any choices. Oh, yes, hell, you do. We all have choices. If you want to, and I've talked about this before as well, if you think that you're a part of the hi Bob, how are you? Here's some coffee. If you think you're a part of the AI matrix, therefore you are. I'm not. I use Bob and the AI matrix and this computer when I want to. I'm not a slave to it. It's a slave to me. My friends with cell phones and all this stuff, they're a slave to their cell phones. They can't put them down. I mean, even talking to them last night, both of these young ladies are carrying their cell phones around. I said, why don't you put it down? Well, I don't know. Well, put it down. Well, but I got it. And I said, yeah, you're holding this radio device up next to your crotch where your ovaries are, and you want to have another child, and it may come out sideways. I mean, are you paying attention? So some people are hearing the answers, but their freedom, their free will, they think about it, well, I don't know, that sounds too hard for me. If it's too hard, then give up. Quit bullshitting everybody that you want to become a spiritual high being when you won't even give up certain things in your own life that are harming you. Well, I don't know. I gotta keep taking these psychotropic drugs. I gotta keep doing this because really? Seriously? Shamans never had pills to take. Yeah, they would take herbs and things. There are herbs that can help calm you down. St. John's wort. There are a lot of medicinals out there that will keep you in line. If you need something to calm you down, there's St. John's wort. There's a lot of stuff that's not chemically bound and made in a pharmacy or pharmaceutical situation with compounds we don't even have a clue what's in them. But I would rather go out if I got an upset stomach And I learned years ago that for mild upset stomachs, you can and diarrhea, that eat small pieces of um, blackberry leaf, for example. Fresher the better. And I don't mean crumble them, but just take a little piece of leaf and chew it up. There's something in it that will. I've been off on powwows and things and didn't have any money or whatever, and got an upset stomach and ate a blackberry leaf, and 12 hours later I was fine. There are lots of things. There are lots of herbs now. In the summer and in the fall is when most weeds bloom. There are more flowers that bloom in the fall than in the spring, because all types of weeds will flower. So if you want to learn about things and pick things, starting now until September and into early October, depending on where you live, there are medicinals out there that are blooming and providing natural healing through Mother Earth, through the Creator, through the cosmos, that you simply can't get from any pharmaceutical. So before you go off on a tangent, maybe there's something local. Do your homework, but that people, well, I don't have time. But they can sit for hours. This is what I don't get. I don't have time, but they sit for hours with their cell phone playing a game stuck between their legs. Oh well, and I got over ovarian cancer. But you've been sitting with a laptop in your lap for the last 5 years. It clearly states don't do that. Laptops aren't for your lap. It will give guys, testicular cancer. It will give women because of the radio waves. Oh, wait, they didn't put that in the warning with the computer, did they? If you read between the lines and in the small print, it says, do not put a laptop on your lap without something between you and it. My laptop don't sit on my lap. It sits near me, but I'm far away from it. Now, I'm too old to worry about, having kids or anything like that at my age, but that's not the issue. I still don't want testicular cancer. I still don't want this or that and the other thing. So am I going to put this thing in my lap? No. I know folks who are like, well, but I don't know, it's too far for me to reach. It's easy for me to keep it in my lap. And then you wonder why your stomach's upset. Why you get this, you got hives, but you won't look at what you're doing in your own environment. Well, oh, holy crap. Maybe they should. I don't know about you folks. I'm fixing to get to your comments here. I seriously. But so there are so many things that we do on our own lives that we need to quit doing. I know I did. And when I try to warn people about this, they go, well, I don't know. That just seems like so much hogwash. That's why folks on Facebook, they won't comment to me directly, but I found it interesting. They're commenting between themselves. Dave's gone over the edge. Dave's talking about ETs again. Dave's talking about orbs. Dave's talking about spirit beings. Dave's talking about, the creator again and the quantum. Dave's talking about this again. They won't talk to me about it, but they talk amongst themselves. And I find that quite amusing, actually. I'm like, now I know why it feels like somebody's been talking about me behind my back, sort of thing. It's because they have. So it's like, okay, but maybe in all this chatter between themselves, some of them have actually said, well, I read this article the other day and approved Dave Wright. He, was talking about this, and I'm, whoa, son of a bitch! I saw the article and I read it. It came into, oh my God, he told me back in 2013 about this. So there are folks who are waking up. I mean, even my friend, he said, you told me shit 5, 6, 7 years ago. And he goes, I love you. You're my friend. And he says, I just kind of thought, well, that's Dave. And he goes, now, he said, there's over 50% of what you told me back then that I can say, holy crap, you were right. And I just don't know enough about the other stuff you told me back 13 years ago. But, oh, my God, you were right about some of this stuff, Dave. Crap. And I was like, I'm just trying to share, It's not about me being right. Oh, my God, I wish so much that I weren't right about some of this stuff. But at the same point, somebody's got to be the grown-up in the room and go, it's your own fault that some of this is happening to you. I mean, my friends. put the damn phone down, change your habits, quit eating this crap, and you wonder why you can't lose weight, but you won't drink water out of a glass. Everything's got to be out of a plastic bottle. Everything's got to be, can you change your lifestyle? Well, I don't know. It seems too hard. That means you don't want to. It's inconvenient. So, which is more inconvenient? To learn how to deal with things back on a natural basis, or to continue your life in turmoil and chaos? Free will, up to you. Or them, not necessarily you, but them. Them out there. So I put my glasses somewhere. Nope, not on my head. Oh well, I dropped them. Hang on, let me get my glasses here. I do appreciate every single one of you hanging out with me. I do. And I hope that this is enlightening to you at all. And one of the things in talking with other in talking with other people, I don't condemn them. I just look at them and say, are you sure that's correct? Are you sure about that? Well, I don't know. I heard. Okay, but are you sure? So they hear things and blah, blah. And I asked a simple question, not to put them down. Are you sure about that? Well, this guy said that. Well, yeah, but are you sure? I'm just asking the question. Are you sure about that? Well, I believe blah, 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 blah. Well, and then I might say, well, what about this? Well, I'm not sure. Well, but you were positive a second ago until I mentioned this. Well, I didn't know about that. Well, so before you make up your mind about all these big things, well, that must be right. Do you have all the information? Well, no. Well, I have an opinion on a lot of things, but have I made up my mind that they're true or not? Not necessarily. Some things you can't change my mind about. But on other things, I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm getting all kinds of information here, and it's creepy, and it's weird, and it's part of the chaos and the cabal. But I'm going to keep my emotions out of it. But I'm going to keep a damn eye on it and see what's going on. Because these people over here that I thought I could trust are a bunch of damn liars. Oh, crap. That didn't come out until later. So I believed these folks before, and now they're all a bunch of damn liars. Oh. So maybe what these folks were saying all along had more truth in it. Now, they're not telling the whole truth either. I'm just saying. But the thing is that in some spiritual ways, there were folks a couple of years ago, man, you got to go listen to this people. You got to go listen to this guy. And now I look and I go back and try to listen to these folks, and they're stuck. They're talking about, invoking spirits to help us. They don't talk about their own spirit guide. They want to invoke other angels, other entities instead of their own. And they want to invoke and they want to manifest and they want to do all these things when they don't have a clue as to who they are themselves. But yet they're going to use all these different magical tools to try to manifest something into their life when they ain't got a clue as to how to do it. But they're going to use all these things. Well, why don't you just be you? If you just be you, you might find out that things have already manifested for you. The other thing is, and I'm going to do a separate video on this manifesting thing, but people say, well, I wanted a car, and I've talked about this before, but it's important. People say, well, I wanted a Ford. I needed a car, and I wanted a Ford. Well, but what if you got a Chevy instead? What if somebody gave you a really good deal on a Chevy? Well, but I wanted a Ford. Yeah, but you got the, Creator gave you a car and gave you the opportunity, but you wanted a Ford instead. So sometimes when we think we're manifesting something, our own expectations get in the way. So we say, well, I want a car, but, somebody gives you a Volvo, but I wanted a Ford. Yeah, but okay, well, here's a Volkswagen, but I wanted a Ford. Yeah, but you got the car and you got what you want. Part of the manifestation is true. You got the car and you got a sweet deal, but you didn't get a Ford. So now you're not going to take the deal, and then you're going to bitch about it because, well, I don't have a car because you wanted a Ford. You wouldn't accept something else that did manifest it. It may be sitting right in front of you. So people, in a lot of ways, they're manifesting things, but it's not what they expect. So therefore, they don't think it manifested. It's sitting there, but I wanted a Ford, and somebody, brought me a Chevy. So there are things that are happening for people, but they can't see the forest for the trees. That's happening a lot. So I'm going to have a separate discussion on this manifestation thing. Let me go way back up here. OSHA warnings to Ward Manufacturing. Um, Big Little Mew. Um, that's going back to what I was talking about, radio frequencies. If you don't understand it, you all need to study it. You just do a little bit of thing about radio frequencies. Um, uh, all right, let me come back down here. Just Spitfire says, one of my most horrific dreams, I was 3 or 4 years old. I didn't know about 2 years ago. It was Ladd's Mountain. I'd passed it hundreds of times, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. That's the place. Have you ever gone to the area? I've heard of people knowing where the past life has journeyed on, and in some cases even found their body. Oh, that was at Just Spitfire. No, I can't get to the mountain. It's a mining place now. Okay, going on with that. Now I am on a location that I was here in a previous life. I'm living on property that I was here, I don't know, a century ago. And I did some really bad, nasty things back then. And I'm here to try in this life, in this reincarnation, to fix some of the issues that I created back then. I know about this property. I've talked about it before in other videos. A lot of strange things led me to where I am now. I tried to go to Arkansas. I tried to move to other places. I tried to move up into the Appalachians, and I ended up here. Now I know why. I haven't had any earthquakes around me. Mountains, Arkansas, other issues, yeah. So Creator wanted me here. And I've told you this, back when I was 3 and 4, they asked me what I was going to be when I grew up. And I told them then, I'm going to be a hermit, live in the woods on a river. River's in the backyard, woods right there. And technically, in so many words, I am a hermit. Not in the clinical sense of that I don't want anybody around, or, it ain't about that. Cherry, you say trying hard to stay out of the chaos. Sometimes it's very difficult. The biggest thing about the chaos is you must understand, oh crap, am I being sucked into this? When you realize, and for you, Cherry, when you realize, oh my God, the chaos is affecting me. Holy crap, I am being drawn in. I'm not saying you are, Cherry, but if you feel that, the first thing I did when I said, crap, I see it now. Spirit told me you're getting involved in this and you shouldn't. And then I was like, so what do I do? And the answer was, keep your emotions out of it. So I'm like, well, I can still comment on stuff. I can still give my opinion, but I don't become emotionally charged and involved. Therefore, they can't steal my energy or yours. So, wow, that's weird. Just Spitfire says, my dream was about me having to throw deformed animals out of this mountain, and you were on the inside. Cherry's making some pretty neat carry bags with crocheting. There are a lot of old ladies, and there are some men too, who sit around and crochet. And I got to say, I tried it years ago, and there is a zen in it. There absolutely is. And if you allow it to, it's sort of like saying the rosary in a way, but you're thinking of making some shoes just for the fun of it. Blessings, Cherry. Aurora Rain, hello, I see. Deborah, thank you. I agree with David. Keep her energy to your energy to yourself. Take a Clorox bottle for the soul. Cover with crochet top and bottom, says Cherry. Maverick says, like a thong style flipper, full on shoe. Aurora says that she's been having heart palpitations. A lot of other folks are having that too. And cherry antlers, I'd love to make buttons out of antler for that. That's true. And during deer season, find somebody who does deer processing, and you can sometimes buy the antlers. It depends on the on who's doing it. Just fit fire. I found a turtle in the thick woods last week. I've never seen a turtle except near the road, which you always have to help cross the road. By the way, just Spitfire, right outside my door here, about a month ago now, it has been. My friend and I watched a box turtle dig a hole and put eggs in it, cover it back up, and walk back to the woods. I mean, right outside my window. And then a couple of days later, walking out to the chicken pen, I saw another box turtle digging a hole and putting eggs in it. So I don't know how long it takes for box turtle eggs to hatch, but you can bet I'm watching both locations to see what if anything pops up. But I've seen more box turtles around my yard here in the last 6 months than I have in 2 years. And there used to be a crap load of box turtles around here. And then it was like they disappeared. And I've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 box turtle shells that I use for different things, ceremony for burning sage in and things. But anyway, they disappeared. Now all of a sudden, it's like the box turtles are back and they're laying eggs in my yard. Thumbs up to that. Um, Just Spitfire says there's an owl near my house. I hear him every day. I've got owls in the woods. Understand this, that owls are harbingers. They can bring good news, they can bring bad news. In many Native American traditions, if I were to walk in with, and they have asked me to leave a powwow because I had an owl feather, they were like, you can't wear that. And I'm like, but owl is part of my, you can't wear that here. But owl is part of it's one of my spirit. You can't wear an owl feather here. No, 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 no. There are people who literally yank it out of your thing and no, because there are so many people who are like an owl feather represents evil, demons, harbinger of bad luck. The thing is they are harbingers of news of what's coming. So people think that owls are bad. Listen, owls have taught me things that because they're in the darkness, they fly at night. There have been times I've been out, watching the stars, and an owl will literally, I'll see it in front of me against the moonlight or whatever. It literally flew right just above my head, swooped down to like say hello. Holy crap. But as far as owls being bad luck to me, no, not at all. But there are those who believe that. And I mean, they will literally like get in a fight with you over this stuff. They're serious about it. But in my humble opinion, it depends on what you're using the owl for. And for me, it's always been a confirmation with the spirit guides. Is this good information? Yes or no? Let me ask the spirits. An owl will hoot in the tree up above my house out here. It's got, thousands of acres of woods it can land in and hoot, but it lands right above my house and hoots. Is that an answer? To me, it is. When I've done ceremonies and I said, okay, spirit, are my prayers, is this ceremony a good and valid ceremony for what I did? An owl, comes out overhead. Woohoo! Okay, dokie, scared the crap out of me, but there's the answer from spirit. I mean, I can't even get the words out of my mouth and an owl will hoot. So, are they harbingers of bad luck? Only at times. Are they harbingers of fear? No. But anyway, so take that information for what you will. But there's a lot of people that just say owls are evil, and that's just not true. I mean, alligators aren't evil either, but all reptiles are bad. Okay. Maverick says, mine is a cougar, seen them at a distance that do not make a person feel safe. Been followed by one and found one's bones one time as well. Yeah, cat energy, and cougars, yeah, bobcats are in my backyard and they're huge. You got to be careful with that, but that's not to mean that you can't accept the energy from what cougar brings or bobcat or any of the big cats. There's some hellacious energy in that. Um, just before, maybe one day Georgia will get on board and it'll be easier to get a hold of. I agree with you, just Spitfire. You gotta, I've been busted twice, and well, once in Florida, once in Georgia for marijuana. And because it was over an ounce, and I'm a felon. And it's like that's just plumb stupid. But anyway, um, big little Mew. I had a blue orb July 25th. After stopping certain meds, there is no reason to be nervous. Thank you. Things will make us nervous, but we got to understand. Well, wait a minute. It's a self-reflection. Could this be outside energies making me feel nervous? Or is it something bothering me that's making me nervous? Or am I just nervous because I'm nervous? I mean, but people who are on certain medications, the medications make them nervous. When I stopped taking mine, a lot of my nervous panic attacks went away. I mean, cleared the board, went away. I don't have panic attacks anymore. What? And I was taking meds for it. What? So the meds I was taking for panic attacks gave me panic attacks mixed with the other meds. Just saying. I agree with y'all. The Kali Yuga, 36,000 years, if I correct. There are different terms. And my point is that I try not to get involved with the numbers. It happened a long time ago. There are different things. Let's agree that there are cycles and they happen periodically. Whether it's 1,000 years, 10,000 years ago, let's just agree that these cycles occur. Period. Oh, I don't know. It's 16,000. It's 26. It's 14. It's 2. Let's stop that mess. Let's agree that, do we all agree that there are these energies and these things? And yeah, okay. Let's not worry about what time is between them. Let's just agree that they happen. And we're going through one right now. Can we agree on that? Okay. Then the rest of this pissy nonsense that people are arguing about is just necessary. Big little Mew, I drink alcohol so I don't take that crap. Understood. Here's something else, though. Now, I used to be an alcoholic. I realized that alcohol over a certain amount, and I studied this, I was a part of it, I was an alcoholic. Now, people say, well, no, you're a recovering alcoholic. No, I can honestly say I'm not an alcoholic anymore because I don't crave it. Now, there wasn't a day, I mean, Sunday, it didn't matter that I didn't drink something alcoholic and catch a really good buzz. But I realized also that alcohol lowers your vibration. So I'm not trying to tell anybody if you're drinking alcohol, stop it. No. But understand that if you drink too much alcohol, it is lowering your frequency by what it does. Wine's good for you with a couple of shots, some blackberry liqueur, a shot of bourbon once in a while doesn't hurt you. But if you're drinking more than 2 beers every day or equivalent, you're drinking too much alcohol and it's lowering your vibration. I'm just saying, not trying to tell you to quit, but I've seen people who that 2 beers, they're fine. That third beer, their vibration goes down. They change into the other person and they go, well, I'm fine. No, you're not. I just watched the change occur in you. What? Yeah, I just watched you change. You drank that third beer and now you ain't the guy you was on the second beer. Well, that's not really affecting me. Oh, hell yes, it is. But you're not aware of it because you reached a certain portion in your brain that how alcohol says, well, I'm not like that, blah, 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 blah. Just warning you. Drink alcohol at your own risk, but understand that it does lower your vibrations when in excess. So Maverick, not, or who was it said that? Big little Mew. Not saying you shouldn't, but just understand what it does. Use it at your own risk. Maverick says, gut instinct saved me from being ripped apart by a Doberman pincer when I was 3. I had a bite that they bit through my lip, scratched both sides of my face by a dog. My face was swelled up in my lip. I had to have 17 stitches in my lip. One reason why I have a mustache, but I know how you feel about that, Just Spitfire. Maverick says, walk, talk, and carry a big stick went through my mind, went around the corner into that dog carrying one out of the ditch. I was on a four-wheeler. The trailer made a deep gash in the metal handlebars. Yep, understand. Easter Ram, hi there, everyone. Welcome. Aurora Rain says, I've been surviving the death of my 5-year-old daughter and boyfriend of 8 years completely on my no. No meds, no counseling, no family, friends, etc. Um, Aurora, that's a shame because that's a hard thing to get over. I've not had a sibling die, or a son or daughter, but I have had close friends that have died, and it's very difficult to get over. And I'm sorry that you don't have any friends to discuss with. I love you. I send my energy to you and to help out with whatever may be hanging around. But blessings to you. Uh, Easter Ra, uncontrolled emotions equal controlled by moon equals sin. Aurora Rain, my 18-year-old son died tragically last August. Hardest thing to go through. Easter Ra, I'm sorry about that too. The losing children is the hardest thing now. I've lost my son. He's still alive, but he wouldn't come to my aid if I was literally dying. So in that respect, I've lost my son as well and my grandson. But anyway, and even though they're still alive, they're dead in the respect that they don't want a thing to do with me. Might as well be dead. Anyway, so I understand your pain in a different way, but I do understand it. Maverick says, Aurora, you are very strong in yourself. I cannot imagine how difficult that has been. Hugs, girl, keep your chin up. Strength to all of us, yes, and strength to you guys as well. Esther Ray, David, I've been a nurse 15 years. Totally hear you. And I've been an associate. My good friend that I've been hanging out with the last couple of days. She was a nurse for almost 25 years, and I've had friends who are doctors, nurses, clinicians, all different types. And I was in the mental health area where I took care of mentally handicapped and physically handicapped children and adults. So I've been in the medical field in a way myself. So not as a nurse, but I've had to do nursing. There was an incident, and my friend and I spoke about it the other day. She goes, "Remember, you were at my house that night, and I told you to go home because the microwave went off for a third time. And when you did, you saved that guy who was in that car accident where his leg got cut off." And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, as I've worked in as a nurse, but I've never had to work with that kind of trauma. And you left here, and on your way home, you saved a person's life who had their leg cut off and their truck was on fire. And how did you deal with that? And I was like, I trusted in the Lord. I trusted in my own skills that I'd learned over the years as a Boy Scout. With handling. I've cut myself so many times when I was in the woods. I damn near lost my own leg from a chainsaw accident with the blade. So I've patched my own self up, but then I've patched other people up too. So unfortunately, and I'm skilled at these kinds of emergencies. I don't know where I picked it up. It probably from a previous life, but to the point though, I get where y'all are coming from this. Uh, let's see. Hey, Delaney Jones, coming down. Whoops. Aurora. Let's see. Esther Ray. Oh, Just Spitfire. We have armadillos now in North Georgia. Oh my God. Oh, they're nasty down here. Yeah, and that's interesting. They moved up to the north. Um, Aurora says, I'm a hermit too, escaping the chaos though. Yep. Oh, I missed a bunch. Oh, Pamela, if you're still there. Wow, this thing jumped all over the place. Yes, antiperspirant is a killer. I've talked about this and I've changed it myself. Deodorant is one thing. If you use an antiperspirant, you're getting stuff. I mean, my body used to break out all the time. Dryer sheets, same thing. Now my friend, she was like, "Oh, but I can't wear my clothes if I don't put them in the dryer and use the dryer sheet. I can't do this without using certain things." And I can literally smell her coming from 10 feet away from the fabric softeners and the things, and there is this aura of smell about her. And she's always having troubles with her arthritis and this and that, and she's got lung issues and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I don't use those stuff. And I used to have COPD. I used to wear a mask at night. I used to go through all this stuff. I used to take the inhalers. I've got two of them in my refrigerator, and I haven't used them in over a year and a half because I changed what I was doing. The dryer sheets, antiperspirant, all the stuff that's in it that was making. I mean, there were so many things in the environment I just accepted socially, but I didn't realize was actually killing me. So, I've been warning folks about some stuff. You want to get back to who you are, you got to really clean up your act. Get rid of plastics, get rid of these other things, and just like shampoos. If you look at shampoos, some of the shampoos have formaldehyde in them. It's embalming fluid. Why would you put embalming fluid on your hair, on your head? No, stop it. Pay attention. Let's see. I learned a lot from my husband. Hard lessons. Learned it. We are in hostile environment. You will learn self-protection. Absolutely. Um, wow, I missed. Esther Ray, I was on opioids 13 years and got off with horrific withdrawal. If I can do it, you can. Was taking enough to put a horse down. Me too. I was taking 4 of these big tablets every day, along with some other stuff too. So I was on opioids as well. I was also on for seizure medicine. I was on phenobarbital for 12 years, and they snatched that rug out from underneath me, and I went into full stage withdrawal. I mean, slobbering, uncontrollable. It was horrible for 3 months, and they said, "Oh, you'll be off of it in a couple of weeks." 3 months it took me to get off of that shit. But yeah, if I can do it, you can do it. Now, it may not be as easy, but the thing is that I'm a lot better off after it. And Esther Ray, I bet you're talking about the same thing. You do feel better after you've come off of it. Just saying. Um, just Spitfire. If I'd never came to your chat, I'd still be slapping antiperspirant 2 or 3 times a day. Blessing. But just Spitfire, have you noticed, though, a difference under your arms or anything? Mine went away right away as soon as I stopped using it. I learned a lot from okay, I got that. Thank you, Aurora Snow. Appreciate you as well. And I know you all mean it. When I say I love you and I care for you and your energies, I really honestly mean it. We've never met except in the chats and so forth and your comments on my channel. Thank you very much. But the thing is we are all members of the League of Like-Minded Beings. We are all of a spiritual nature, and that's why we do connect. And I do love you all. And if there's anything we can talk about that'll help any one of you or all of you, I'm for it. Talk to me. Let's have a conversation. Maybe there's something I can dig up in your own brain to help you understand. And chat between yourselves. This is the League of Like-Minded Beings. You all are like, I'm talking about this, but you're like, well, I have this and I have that. And we've all had our own involvement in things in life. But guess what? In a lot of ways, we all share these same things. I'm just talking about mine in an open forum in a chat, which is my job. I do love you all. I do. Thank you. Um, Big Little Mew says, "Guess what, Dave? You are the grown up." Thank you. And I've been accused of that, being the camp counselor and the grown up in the room. But sometimes somebody just got to stand up and speak. Listen, this is not a popular subject, and the least you can do is just, maybe he's got a point. I don't have to be right about everything. It ain't about that, but maybe there's another point of view, and people are just refusing to accept any other point of view. That's my that's my point of view about that. Uh, Thank you, Big Little Mew. You've been given a hell of a job. You're absolutely right. But my Mother Mary messages, I've watched some people and they're like, "Oh, Mother Mary's standing right next to me and she's talking all this." And I got a Mother Mary message while I'm watching these people, and she goes, "That ain't me. Just wanted you to know that ain't me. She ain't talking to me." What? What? She ain't talking to me. She's talking to somebody else and claiming it's me. She ain't talking to me. Just wanted you to know that. Okay. So when I get a Mother Mary message, she don't come and talk to me. She sends me information, and my spirit guide opens it up and goes through the file, and But the thing is that I've listened to these other people who have had these conversations with Mother Mary, and I go, "What the hell are you folks talking about? I'm sorry, but since I was 7 years old, I've been connected." And when she's, "Nah, them folks are lying. That ain't me. I don't know who they're talking to, but that ain't me. Just saying." So, but anyway, uh, yeah, but Mother Mary gave me my job when I was 11. I've talked about that. And here I am after all these years fulfilling that prophecy that she gave me. And I have been called a heretic because of what I talk about. And by, folks from my own family and classmates and, anyway. Just Spitfire, I never knew, Star, how much better that small changes made me feel. Don't even have to use regular deodorant as much as the other crap. So you answered my question. Thank you, Just Spitfire. There are a lot of stuff if people just quit drinking water out of plastic bottles. Quit drinking out of plastic bottles. Go with cans. Go with a glass bottle. You'd be surprised. My arthritis went away after 10 years of not being able to wiggle my fingers like this. My arthritis is almost gone. What did I do? I stopped using plastic. Screw that Ford. I'm sorry, I'm sarcastic. Be sarcastic all you want to. Um, Big Little Mew, thank you. Yeah, but to the point. Well, if I don't get a Ford, I don't want the car. In spirituality, it's like, well, I think it should be like this, so I'm not going to accept the rest of it. It's not just the car, it's stuff in general. Esther Ray, when I was in advanced nutrition class, I also learned that burnt bacon and artificial sweeteners have been black and white proven to cause brain cancer, but the FDA just lets it slide. Absolutely. Now, again, I tell people about the shampoo. If you don't want loramide and all these things, because some of these are derivatives of formaldehyde. Do not put embalming fluid on your brain. Rub it in, and woo, my hair is so clean. Now you just put so much caustic material on your brain and around your eyes and so forth. And now you're going to use, a conditioner because you were just so rude to your hair. You got to put it back. I've been telling people, wash your hair with conditioner. The soap, there won't be any soap. The dirt comes out with the conditioner, and your hair is conditioned without having to go through the whole spiel of this and that and back and forth and cut your losses. Oh my God, your hair will be so much nicer. Stop using shampoo. Just saying. Now, if it's some kind of really natural, but the basic line is still any soap is caustic because that's what makes it soap. To make soap, you use lye. Lye is really caustic, I mean, it's worse than, it's an acid on the other end of the scale. So why would you pour acid on your head? To get your hair clean? Come on. We don't need that. Yes, bacon. I mentioned this before. I've got family members who just, my pops died of, he would sit down with a bag of cracklins. And if you don't know what cracklins are, and I used to love them as a kid, but I reached a certain point, I was like, that's just nothing but grease. It's hardened, congealed grease. I'm eating the skin and grease and fat off of the pig. Wait, well, it's one thing to have a ham sandwich, just another thing to eat the fat and the skin and cracklings and what? He died way too early, my pops did. Bacon, grease. I mean, save the bacon grease and then cook your eggs in it. Save the bacon grease and cook this in it. And fake bacon, bacon bits. What? Oh, it's all natural. Oh, read the ingredients. No, it ain't. Okay, Pamela. I'm glad to see you, Pamela. I've been praying for you. Your most memorable statement today for me is on traversing and navigating 4D on the way to 5. Learn to swim before diving off the high dive into the deep end. Absolutely. And to that point, if Pamela, if you're still there, but for the rest of you, one of the things that has been shown to me, is the idea, though, that people are freaking out about certain things because they're actually starting to see orbs. They're starting to see things in their own 3D reality. It's kind of creeping them out. And some of it could be the drugs they're on. But the idea that the veil is being lifted, when I talk to a tree, sometimes I can hear it talk back. For somebody who's not used to this kind of thing, if they go walk by a tree and the tree says, hi there, Sharon, or hi Dave, or hello Hawkeye, what, hi tree, holy shit, people are going to drop their drawers and they're going to have a heart attack because the lower fourth dimension, higher third dimension, this veil is being lifted. We're being able to see through the fog and things are coming through. A lot of people talking about orbs now. A lot of people talking about, blue spheres, blue orbs. And I don't mean the Blue Sphere Alliance stuff, but like the blue spheres that I took pictures of on my couple of years ago video about the orbs in Ohio at the petroglyphs. And, I need to bring those pictures out and redo that and kind of do a little bit of update. But everything they told me back then at that time in Ohio, these things are coming true too. So it's like, holy crap. Just Fit Fire says, I feel like maybe I'd done something bad also. I don't know what you were heading with that. But anyway, oh, Delaney says, I'm going to go out and film the moon and get pics. Talk to you later. All right. Aurora Rain, I'm a hermit too. Okay. Wow. Aurora, the heart palpitations are due to ascension symptoms, adjusting to frequency changes. Esther Roth, I believe in that. But there are some of us who have some physical ailments, but they're manifesting as heart palpitations because of the energy changes. There may be an underlying, I'm not going to say heart problem, but circulatory. So only burnt bacon. Just saying, but I agree with you, Esther Ra, in that a lot of these things that we're feeling and the nervousness and some of the queasiness. I told my friend the other day, I said, just chill for a day. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should go to the doctor. I said, are you dying? Well, no, but my palpitations. And they said, but are you dying? No. And I said, then give it a couple hours. The Schumann went down. I called my friend back. How you doing? She, well, I calmed down. Well, did you take 2 Valium? Well, no, I just, I just, I did just something. Blah. Anyway, she calmed down. She says, well, how you feeling now? I feel okay. So, Aurora Rain says, you're actually having them now. Aurora, I'm total hermit too. I got divorced because I couldn't handle the drama anymore. I chill at home and paint or hang out in nature. Whoops, it just scrolled up down again. Michelle King, kind of sort of. My thing is scrolling up and down. The internet's acting weird. Dominic, pleased to see you. Owls are beautiful. I had an incident many years ago that first got me connected to the owl. And in my backyard, I don't know, I was, uh, you know, a 16th of a mile to an eighth of a mile down in the woods. And I was there, depending on the water, I live on a wetland right out back. I mean, if it rains normally, it's soggy when you walk out in my backyard or back into the woods. And you're going to get your feet wet, you know. So I was in an area and I was watching these iris bloom in the spring, and an owl came in and landed on a tree 20 feet away from me. And the limb was like an arm. Here, I'm the tree trunk, and the limb went out and then straight up like this, and the owl sat right there in the crook of this thing. But the thing is that it was watching me. It landed and stood, and I'm just standing there going, and this is daytime. And the owl was like sitting right there, and I'm like, hello, Mr. Owl. And I thought, whoa, it's going to fly away. Nope. I mean, for 10 minutes, I stood there like trying almost pee in my pants and trying to not disturb the owl. And the owl turned around on the limb and then would turn its head. You know, I can't do it. They'd turn their head around and look at me, stare. I mean, there's nothing else. Stared right at me. I mean, right into my soul. I was like, crap. Oh, holy mackerel. And at that, I mean, I've had these instances in my life where animals would come up and have this, you know, one-on-one with me. I had a similar incident with a hawk many years ago, thus my name, Hawkeye Two Feathers. But there's much more to that. I mean, but in that, this owl sat there for at least 10 minutes on this limb in the daytime, looking at me, stared at me, and then flew away. But it didn't fly away. It just went to a higher branch in the next tree. Sat there for the longest time, staring back at me. And I'm like, what do you want? And I got this feeling like, you see, we animals, if you allow yourself, we can be in communication with you. And I was like, what? You know, I mean, this has been 15 years ago at least. And I was still on my, you know, shamanic journey. I was still learning about nature, still learning about spiritual. But when that owl landed in that tree and turned and spoke to me with these eyes, and I was like, oh, holy crap, there's more to this than I actually realized. You know, the owl came in the daytime and sat there for that long and spoke to me. Holy shit. You know what I mean? So, but if I hadn't gone on the walk, if I hadn't allowed myself to be, you know, how do I say, accessible to the animals, I had to listen to my spirit guide that says, you need to go take a walk. And this was early on in my training. You should go for a walk. Okay. And then the owl came and spoke to me. Crap, you know, and it wasn't bad. It was like, you know, hey, I am a messenger. I am, you know, here to bring spirit. And but anyway, I asked her, Ray, nothing is better than a joint and 3 shots of whiskey, but only once a month. I'm not saying that alcohol is bad. It's the continuing use of alcohol that will bring your frequency down. I got some blackberry cordial kind of liqueur, and I'll take a couple of shots of that. I got some Jack Daniels that, you know, I love Jack Daniels bourbon, and sometimes I just want a couple of shots. But just understand that that's fine. Drinking a little bit of wine is fine. But I watch people who try to be spiritually of higher frequency, but they drink too much. They get drunk while they're talking about it. And then, well, I just don't understand why I can't get where you are. But to the point. Just Spitfire. Then this owl has really got something to say, because I hear him say, and night. Yep, absolutely. Michelle King, blessings. Watch the video on alcohol and spirits. Very enlightening. You're right. I thank you for confirming that. But, you know, there are so many things. It's okay for a little bit. I mean, look, I've been smoking weed since I was, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. I'm 67 now. I went a year or two without smoking any, but mostly I've been smoking weed one way or the other all of my life. And even I know I can get too stoned and not be spiritually. It will lower my vibrations. I can take a hit or two, be just fine. I smoke a whole joint, get stoned with some other people. My energy is nowhere near what it could have been. All right, because I've taken too much. So even natural things, we can overdo it with everything if we allow ourselves to overindulge. So I ain't, I got pretty stoned yesterday with some of my friends. So, I'm guilty of doing this every once in a while, but on a regular basis. Thank you, Big Little Mew. You're right on the alcohol. Thank you. Uh, Thank you. I chose not to, Aurora. I got to go, guys. Thank you. Just Spitfire already gone. Michelle King, the only one for me. My mom died 4 years ago. Feel lost and like constantly attacked. Michelle, there are things that you can do, and one of the things is a simple prayer of protection. And this is what I do. I allow all good spirits to come to me. Any negative spirits must stay away. I'm asking all positive spirits to come and share my energy and to help me to keep the bad spirits out. Because many of us understand, and on Milky Way Weekly show, Brian Lunsford, we're talking about um, orbs and energies and things, and they're all around us. So if you ask what's around you, to come and join in with your positive prayer and also ask them to keep the woolly boogers out. It's remarkable how much the locals in your area, meaning orbs, spirits, whatever, and I make it very clear. It's my thought up here. If there's a negative entity out there trying to get at me, you are not welcome here. You are not welcome. Stay away. And so it's not that I'm afraid of them. It's that I tell them ahead of time, you guys aren't welcome here. Go away. You can invoke Jesus. You can say a prayer, whatever makes you feel comfortable. But the biggest thing is I understand I've reached a certain point in my own spiritual life and stuff. I ain't afraid of you guys no more. You have tried for 60 some odd years to get my ass, and I keep coming out of it. You're not going to get me. You've tried. You're going to keep trying, but you can't get me. You can make me fall down. I'm going to get back up. You can throw something in my way. I'm going to figure out a way over it, around it, under it, or through it. You can try. Go ahead. Give it your best shot. Oh, and they have. Don't, don't tempt them. They will throw shit at you. But the biggest thing I realize is that if I have just the tiniest bit of fear, they can smell that shit from 10 miles away. From other dimensions, they smell our fear. Or if we're unsure, well, I don't know if I'm being protected. That's fear. You got to just say, I'm protected, and believe it. If you let that fear slide in, it's a crack in the door. So, and that's what I learned about myself. But and a few other people I've talked about, it's like, that's that 100.1%. You gotta believe it. You have to believe I'm safe. And even if they knock you around, you're still safe in the end. Well, I get knocked over. Well, get back up. Well, blah, 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 but get back up. There's lots of different ways, to deal with this. But and I know there are times when I've been in some situations in here recently where there was something nearby and I could feel the hair on my arms. And I was like, there's something nearby. And so I just said out loud, whoever or whatever you are, I am protected by my spirit guide. You cannot harm me. You can dance around all you want to. And then I asked the local spirits, all of you positive spirits that are around, help me to keep these nasties away. I don't go into much detail or call on names or invoke anything. I invoke my own spirit guide and have trust in the faith that I am protected by my creator without fear. Now, that's hard to do because this recent event that happened to me, I'm pretty secure in this. I've seen some crazy shit in my life, but I was like, this is creepy. But I couldn't let the creepiness bring fear in because then the entity had a way in. Just a point of view, it works for me. So sorry to hear that, Michelle. Death of a loved one is very hard. I continue to pray for you folks for that. But understand, like my granny, she comes and visits me once in a while. If you understand that their spirit hopefully is in a better place, then that should be a reassurance for us spiritually. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I've got some friends of mine that I've lost recently. I mean, where I'm 67 and folks my age are dying, and folks that I've known, some of these folks are a lot younger than I am, which is really surprising. But anyway, Esther Ray David, man, the withdrawal is no joke. Oh, you're going back to coming off of meds. Yep. Michelle says grief sucks. Lots of loss, but I know I'm special. I just don't know how special bad or special good. Your heart is good, Michelle. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hanging out with us. I'm not bragging about that. But if your energy was bad, you wouldn't be allowed to stay with us. You would be finding a way to, this stuff don't make sense to me. And you're hanging out with like-minded beings. So you are a good soul, but you've been affected by the bad things like all of us have. Keep the faith, Michelle. Yes. Going back to Bigelow, formaldehyde, yes. Mask, thank you. Esther Ray, I'm probably Smart Bus Special. David, I appreciate your talking and provided this platform. I don't like talking, so couldn't do it. You're absolutely welcome. I'm rocking and rolling the short special bus too, Maverick. I got you. Yeah. Denise, hi, how are you? Denise Marie, first time I've seen you, I think, or for a while. So blessings to you all. Delaney's back, posting my orbs and moon vid now. Got some good stuff. Thank you, Delaney Jones. Um, let's see. Thank you. Been attacked my whole life. Yep. Esther Ray, woolly boogers. Yeah, them woolly boogers. You have not heard that. Woolly boogers is an old expression from way back, But anyway, um, it does confirm your specialness. Absolutely, Michelle. Best not to tell them to bring it because they will. Speaking of you know, uh, to the negative energies, give it your best shot. That's not necessarily. I tried that early on, and I realized don't tempt them. But the biggest thing that I learned out of that was to be assured of my own energy. And doesn't mean that I'm still not attacked. I was attacked here just this last few days ago, and kind of got beat up pretty bad in a way. But I realized that it was because I've been talking and speaking to folks and things and doing videos like this to try to bring folks around. Listen, be spiritual all you want, but leave the religion out of it, Keep the doctrine out of it. Let's keep our souls clear. Let's keep our spirits clear. Let's keep talking to each other and this league of like-minded beings. The fact that we agree on peace and love and harmony and compassion, this is what we need to focus on, not the differences between us. That's minimal. Let's keep focus on the big things. Let's have the internal faith. And 6 months ago, I was on the fence about this. I was like, I don't know if we're making a difference. I don't know whether or not what I'm doing is making a difference. I don't know whether speaking it into the universe. And my Mother Mary message was, Dave, Hawkeye, you gotta have faith. So I'm here, I'm doing this, and I want to pass this along to you. And blessings to all of you, because your responses in the chat makes me feel so humble inside, but grateful, because of all the times I go, I don't know, should I do another video? At last, God Almighty, it's 2 hours and 14 minutes already. I try to do short videos and it doesn't work. but I'm having conversation with you folks. We're sharing like-minded thoughts into the universe at the same time. And over everything, I notice a change. In one of my recent videos, I asked you all, I said, have you all seen a change here just in the last couple of months? It's been subtle, but a lot of you said, yeah, you know, and it's been a subtle change, but there is a change. So are we having an effect on it? Yes, we are. And we can't have great strides. We can't build a 300-foot building overnight. You could take it down really quick, but we want to build a better, higher relationship for all of these spirit beings on this planet and elsewhere too. But one of the things that many of us, I know myself, God, I wish it would happen sooner. But the thing is, it is happening. That is what's important. For every time we have conversation and we share it to the universe, guess what? AI is using the quantum universe. It doesn't have you and I because we're thinking out of the box. We're thinking in other terms. So the AI can't snag us. We've already stepped away from it. So they've already lost you and me. They can't have us. They might try to get at us. We get attacked, but they can't have our souls. They might beat us, knock us down, but they can't have my soul. It's mine. They can't have it. And I bet you all would agree with that. You don't have to put it down. But in that respect, regardless of what you went through, regardless of the losses of family and husbands, daughters, brothers, sisters, we're still here. And it does make us stronger. It will make us stronger. And we are making a difference on the planet. And the spirits out yonder are hearing it. I'm fixing to go back on the river because I need the water thing. But I'm going to close this up because, my God, it's 2.5 hours. Blessings to you folks. Delaney, you came back. Thank you, David. Blessings. Denise, I'm sorry. Yes, Esther Ray, I tried that too. A big old demon I'll call Baal came and put a dagger in my heart, and I'm just coming out of a 5-year hell stretch of being tested to the limits. I love these videos. You're up late at night, and most of us don't have a single soul to talk to. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Denise. Yeah, okay. I caught up with your chat. Okay. Here's the thing. Whether or not, at first when I said, okay, I believe I'm protected, there was a little bit of me that was like, are you sure about this? But I'm protected. If you connect with your higher spirit and you believe that you are protected, then you are. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but doesn't mean that you won't be attacked, but it does mean that you're protected. Now, they still might knock you over, but did they draw blood? There's different layers to how you were attacked and the aftermath and the scars that it leaves. So even the worst of things, if we look at it like, well, this happened for a reason, a person dies, maybe their soul contract was up. Now, there are some people that I know that I don't think their soul contract was up. I think they just got out of their contract early, now for whatever reason. But it may be for the best that these people moved on to the higher realms. They may actually be able to do more good in the higher realms now that they've left their physical body here. It's hard for us to say, yeah, but I lost a loved one. I know. But maybe they're going to help from the other side. Maybe that's where they're needed at right now. Maybe there was something in their contract that said, you know what? I got to go early. Or maybe because of the situation is changing constantly, minute to minute, day to day on the earth and in the universe, maybe they were needed in the other realm to help us in this realm. I know that's a hard way to look at it, but maybe the loved ones we've lost, if we connect with them with our higher self, maybe they're there on the other side to help us in this side. I know that's how I have to look at it and do look at it. So with that little bit of tidbit of sharing in that, My husband tries to kill me on a monthly basis. No joke. I've been documenting it. I don't doubt it. I've had some spirits come back and want to do me harm. But the thing is, it's like I don't egg them on, but they already know. They've tried to take swipes at me before. They've hit me in the jaw. I've got a glass jaw. I couldn't be a boxer. One punch and I'd be out, and have been out. But the idea, though, that they know that I'm going to get back up, no matter how hard they beat the crap out of me, I'm going to get back up. So it's almost like it's become useless for them to attack me. I know it's kind of like, what? And I look at it like I'm protected. You can knock me down, but my protection is my free will to get back up. My free will is to not give in to you regardless of what you do to me. And in that's protection in itself. So as I got more bold in my own self, not with them now, but bold in that I have been knocked down and I have got back up. I am a strong sumbitch. Not necessarily physically, but spiritually. They've tried to kill me dozens of times in my 67 years. I'm still here. Oh, wait, maybe I do have a strong spirit. Maybe I have to believe my spirit is strong because I am still here. That's the proof in the pudding. I'm still here, y'all. Meaning to those guys out there who've tried to attack me and kill me and all this. I'm still here. Nanny, nanny, boo, boo. That's how I look at it. Now, that's tempting fate, but to the point, though, I think you get what I'm talking about. So have that within your own self. Look, there are going to be some big energies out there that can slap the snot out of you. But we ain't going to let the woolly boogers get it. Even if they kill me, my spirit's still intact. They can't have me. I'm going to the other side because I intend to. Regardless of what these guys do to me. Now, I relate it to being in prison and what the guards try to do. I just don't allow it. I had to bend over when they told me. They'd stuck their finger up my butt to see if there was any drugs. I hadn't been outside in 6 months, so how could I have drugs in my butt? But anyway, but the idea, though, that there are things out there, we're going to get smacked. Expect it. But you're already strong enough because you're still here. Take that to the bank with you. That's what's important. You're still here. And the more that we share with each other, and thank you all, guess what? That should make you stronger in that fact alone. Son of a bitch, I'm still here. They keep trying, but I'm still here. I have to have faith in that. If you don't have faith in anything else, the fact that you're still here and kicking and still trying and still waking up every day, you still come and join in discussions and chats and sharing. We're still here, folk. That makes us strong spiritual beings. I say thumbs up to that. Cheers for those of you from the Dante channel and about the Silent 72 Plus. We're still here. We're still working. We still love each other. We still share the compassion. They can't take that from us no matter what they do to us. And that's something we can take to our own bank. I love you all. I do. It's only 12:40 at night. It's not too late. Yes, Delaney Jones. Pamela, actually, I find that very comfortable, Hawkeye. Comforting, sorry. Thank you, Pamela. Delaney Jones, we broke the codes. Yep. Can't kill me. They can't kill what was born dead already. You were born dead. I'm not me. I was born alive, but they've tried to take my spirit and they just can't do it. So, but that's a matter of opinion, and I don't want to get into that. No matter how hard they try, they can't stop us now. That's very true. None of us can go back. You can't unlearn the truth. And when you feel it in your hearts and you know it's true, No matter who's doing the threatening or the torture or the attacking, they can't take it away from us. And to some point, I think, up to a point, I think that with mine, they've tried so many times that they know that I've just gotten stronger every time they knock me down. And it's like, well, okay, I'm still getting up. I'm not begging you to hit me again, but I'm just going to get back up. Well, shit, maybe we're just wasting our time with him. You know what I mean? They just like, well, maybe, never mind, you know. So they can't kill the truth either. Thank you, Delaney. A divine living man. I love you too. Thank you. And that's what's making the difference. They can't kill it. They can kill us, but they can't take the truth away. They can't take my soul. We are the ones uncovering what they tried to bury. Yes, divine living man. My love to you as well, and to all of you. So, going on 2.5 hours, another long video, but hanging out with you guys is really, really encouraging for me to keep speaking. For me, I'm always listening to the Spirit. I'm always listening for Mother Mary messages, and I got another one coming up, and it's going to be about manifestation versus other stuff, but it's going to be a topic about manifestation and how we do it and what to expect and that kind of thing. I touched a little bit on it here, but tonight, but it needs to be more focused and a little bit more streamlined information, not just a bunch of gobbledygook. But I love you all. Good morning to you. It's 12:43 Eastern Daylight Time here in South Georgia. I love you all. I do. Maverick, it's been great to be here. Thank you. I will keep up the good energy. You all do as well. Remember, we are making a difference. It may be slight, but we got to keep the faith. Of all the things that the Mother Mary messages come to me, we got to keep the faith. We got to keep what we already have, and it will blossom as things change. Delaney says, I get such a heartfelt comfort from your talks. Learn so much. Love 99. Thank you, Delaney. Thank you. And that's what makes me, well, if you all knew, there are some times when I get done with a video, I turn off the screen and I just sit here and I weep. I mean, the tears run down, they flow, because I'm so grateful that anything that I have to say, and the fact that we have a communion of souls, if you will, that we can chat and have conversation with each other. I just weep. The tears run down my eyes, and I say thank you to Mother Mary. I say thank you to the universe. I say thank you, and peace be to every one of you. Tears of joy, tears of humbleness. Thank you all, my lovely friends. And one of these days, thank you, divine living man. You're not alone. I know I'm not. Prosperity and abundance in your lives. Thank you, Maverick. Let's just keep sharing the truth, sharing love and our compassion. So I'm going to end this video at almost 2.5 hours. Thank you, my dear friends. One of these days, maybe we can meet in this world, have coffee and donuts, talk about Bob. Who knows? I continue to pray each and every day for each and every one of you that you will accept and receive the blessings, the healing, and the knowledge from the universe. I continue to pray that every single one of you will continue to accept and receive the blessings from the universe, that you, your friends, your family, all of your relations, that they will continue to accept, learn how to accept and receive these blessings. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to share the knowledge, the healing, and the blessings that you receive and accept in your lifetime. Continue to spread the peace, the faith, and the comfort and the blessings. I love you all. I do. Until next time, be safe. Keep it between the ditches, as they say down here in the South. And to all of you, I say good night, good morning, and blessings and continued blessings unto you until next time. Good morning.